Hi guys, James at RampantLionReviews again for you today with another beer review. For this one we are going to head up to Gothenburg, or Göteborg as you would say in Swedish, and we've got a collaboration beer from two of the big hitters in the Gothenburg beer scene. So for this one we are going to try the Sabotage, which is a 6.6% black IPA, and this one is a collaboration between OO Brewing and it's brewed at Beerbliotek. This is number 170 when it comes to the Beerbliotek beers, of course, so it should be really nice. It was rated 95 overall on Rate Beer and 99 within the style, so that tells you it should be a pretty damn good beer, and we do know that both breweries involved here produce some awesome stuff, so I'm really interested to see how it works when they go together. So it should be a really nice beer, and I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Incidentally, this beer was just released at the start of February in Systembolaget, so do make sure you try it if you get the chance while it's still around. So yeah, so anyway, as is usual with my beer reviews then, I'll tell you a little bit about the breweries. If you want to get straight to the tasting, just fast forward. All the usual links are in the description below. That's the brewery websites, the link to my other reviews, both from OO Brewing and from Beerbliotek. There's all the usual social media. If you want to see more beer reviews, do subscribe to the channel. The whole channel, of course, has a geography-based tagging system, so if you go into the homepage, you can search for beer based on country, city, state, whatever it is you're interested in. Do check out the playlist of beers from different countries. There is one there for all the Swedish beers that I've reviewed. That's constantly being added to, of course, and as always, please do get in touch and let me know some of the other beers and breweries you guys would like to see me review. Always interesting to hear from you guys, and the support you give the channel is hugely appreciated. So anyway, to tell you a little bit about Beerbliotek first off then. So this brewery, as I mentioned to you, are based in Gothenburg, and they were founded back in 2013 by a multinational group of friends. So there was Adam Norman, who's Australian, Richard Bull, who's from New Zealand, Anders Hedlund, of course, who is Swedish, and Daryl Denecker, who comes from South Africa. So Adam and Richard actually ran Bar Doppio in Gothenburg, and Daryl and Anders were very regular customers at the bar, so they often used to talk about beer together, and one day they decided that they would buy a brew kit and actually start brewing beers of their own. So their brewery's in the old Klippen Sugar building, a really nice old building that's actually very, very close to the old Carnegie Brewery in Gothenburg. Really quite a famous business actually when it comes to Sweden and the drink scene, of course. But their brew kit is actually from Brewfab in Scotland, and in their first year they produced about 38 different varieties of beer, and all of their beers are actually brewed in small batches, so they basically stick to their home brewing roots, and that was the whole idea of what they wanted to do with the brewery. So they have no fixed kind of core range of beer, and this is why all of these beers actually have a number. So this one, as I mentioned, I think it was number 170, and this is why all of the Beerbliotek beers, of course, have these numbers on them. And basically the idea behind the name Beerbliotek was that they wanted to kind of brew a wide variety of beers, different styles with different malts, different hops and all this things, to actually teach beer drinkers about what you could actually do with beer. So they essentially wanted to create a beer library, and if I'm not mistaken, they actually do put all of their recipes online actually, so I do need to check out the website, and you can do that for yourself in the description below, as I said. But anyway, that's enough about Beerbliotek just now. Do make sure you check out their website and things and have a taste of their beers if you get the chance. On to OO Brewing, of course, and these guys are one that have really made a name for themselves over the last little while. So OO Brewing, as I mentioned to you, are also based in Gothenburg in Sweden, and they were founded back in 2011 by Olaf and Ole Andersson, who are childhood friends, and for many years they were also avid home brewers as well, and the pair have always been really interested in brewing different beers, and Ole apparently was heavily involved in the Gothenburg beer scene since pre-drinking age, and of course he is the brewer at Stigbergets Brewery as well, and this is where the OO beers are produced. Ole, of course, was the one behind the Narangi, the Amazing Haze, the GBG Beer Week 2016, is a very, very talented brewer and very highly regarded in Sweden and of course throughout the rest of the world just now. Like throughout 2016, that was the Stigbergets and OO beers were ones that really climbed up the ladder and made a name for themselves. But while Ole is actually brewing, Olaf manages the business side of the brewery, and apparently the whole idea behind it was that they just wanted to brew beers that they enjoyed to drink themselves. And like I said, Ole has made a very, very big name for himself, and OO Brewing are getting a big name kind of just because their beers are very, very good. I've reviewed a couple of them for you on the channel now, so do make sure you check out those reviews. The Narangi is awesome, the Muscles is very, very good. There's also they've got their regular IPA as well. The name actually eludes me at the moment, but they've got some very, very good beers. If you get the chance to try some of the OO beers, or even the Stigbergets beers that Ole brews as well, they are all really, really good stuff. So we've got two very good breweries involved with this one today, just to summarise that, but we'll get on to the tasting section of the video. If you want to learn more about either brewery, of course, do check out the websites and things in the description below. But let me just bring up the camera and let you have a little look at the artwork of this one before we open it up. As you can see with this one, it's got a really nice style of artwork. It really reminds me actually of the kind of Grand Theft Auto game on the PlayStation 2. That must be like 10, 15 years old now, but it really reminds me of that kind of 1980s style writing that you had on that. There you can see, of course, here's the OO symbol down here. Here you can see Beerbliotek. As I was mentioning to you, this is number 170, beer number 170 from Beerbliotek, but really nicely presented, this one. This beer should be nice and fresh since it's in a can, and you can see on the back there is the Swedish flag, Swedish craft beer, and there's the pant. So if I take this back, I do get 1 crown back from the label of this one. So yeah, should be a really nice beer. But without further ado then, let's get it open and we'll get on with the tasting. Really looking forward to this one. As I say, both breweries involved here are really quite good, so I'm excited to see what they've produced together. 6.6% black IPA, 95 overall on rate beer, and 99 within the style. And I'll tell you right now, you can smell some of the nice fruity character just coming off this beer as you open up, but it looks very, very nice. So, as you can see, and as you would expect from a black IPA, it's poured a really nice kind of dark, sort of rosewoody colour. If I hold it up to the light, it's got a nice sort of ruby edge to it. It's almost a Coca-Cola colour, this beer, to be honest with you. There's a solid finger of a frothy, kind of beigey cream head on this one. It does smell really nice. It's got some really nice fruity characters coming off it, but we'll pay a bit more attention to that in a second. There's some big bubbles sticking towards the side of the glass there, quite a few little ones going up towards the bottom of the head, and it's got a nice kind of ruby edge to it there, but it looks like a really, really nice beer, this one. So let's take a closer look at the aroma then and see how we get on. Oh, that's nice. That really is a nice aroma on this beer. Yeah. So, you can. It's interesting. It really, if you smelt this blind, you'd think this was a black IPA. You would think this was just a regular IPA. Sorry, not a black IPA. It really just smells like a straight up big kind of hoppy beer. You can't even. There's a teeny little bit of black malts, but if you weren't so careful about smelling it, you really wouldn't notice it. It really does smell just like a regular IPA, this one. It's got some lovely fruity character to it. You can smell a little bit of the grapefruits in there. There's some passion fruits. I'm getting a little bit of peach out of this one as well. Really, I'm getting some kind of peachy notes out of this beer. A little bit of kind of, yeah, grapefruit, passion fruit. There's a nice kind of orangey citrus character in there too. I do wonder if there's maybe a little bit of mosaic hop in there, because it does kind of come across with a little bit of a sort of tangerine note, to be honest with you. Yeah, it smells like there's a bit of citrus or citra hop in there, maybe some mosaic, because you can pick up a little bit of mango actually. There's a bit of almost pineapple character. I always find mangoes are very distinctive with citra hop, and there's a little bit of those kind of lighter, almost lychee sort of things coming out of it that usually signifies a little bit of the citra hop. I do think there is a little bit of that in here. Maybe mosaic. It's always fun to guess, of course, but mainly the important things you want to pick up are what fruits it is, and I'd say it's grapefruit, it's passion fruit, there's a little bit of orangey character in there, maybe more of a tangerine, to be honest with you. Mangoes. I'm getting a little bit of peach, like I was saying, and there is a little bit of a kind of lychee, or maybe even a little bit of pineapple coming out of this one, to be honest with you. You can smell a little bit of the roasted black malts in there, and some of the slightly lighter sort of grassy floral aspects of the hops. But overall, it really is more just like if you smelt this blind, as I said, you would just mistake this for being a kind of regular IPA. It doesn't have really anything that jumps out at you. If you smelt this blind, you would not guess probably that this is a black IPA. Those kind of roasted black malts are very, very well hidden in the aroma. But yeah, just take a little bit of time and enjoy the aroma of this one before you get stuck in. It really is very, very nice, and you wouldn't expect anything less from either of these two breweries, of course. But let's give this beer a try and see how we get on. So this is the Sabotage, a collaboration beer between Beerbliotek and OO Brewing, two of the big hitters in the Gothenburg craft beer scene here over in Sweden. Skål! Oh, that's nice. That's really well done. So you have, you can tell right away with this beer. It's really just a very, very good quality beer. There's not much else you can say about it on your first impression. It really is very nicely done. Yeah, it's really interesting that it doesn't have the same kind of malt profile that you would normally get from a black IPA. It's just very, very smooth. The black malts start to come out in the aftertaste of this one. Other than that, it's just a little bit bready. You do get that little bit of bready malt that you get from some of these American West Coast IPAs. But it does come across as a little bit more of a brown bread. I should point that out to you, but it's really just very light in its malt profile, which is in contrast to quite a few of the black IPAs I've had before, so it is a little bit more hoppy. But the mouthfeel that this one has, it does remind me of the other black IPAs I've had from Beerbliotek, and it's also got some of the smoothness that you expect of some of the OO and Stigbergets beers. It really is. It's a very good beer, this. I'll say that straight up. This is a really good beer that fully deserves. It really deserves that rating in 95 that it has on Rate Beer. It really is very, very well done. So if you get the chance to try this one, give it a go. But let's examine the flavour a little bit more closely then. That's nice. That really is good. So yeah, as I was saying with this one, the malt base is very, very light. You've got a nice kind of brown bready character in there. As the beer progresses in flavour, you can pick up some of the roasted kind of black malt characters coming out of it. You can just feel that sort of dry, slightly roasted bitterness coming out of the beer as the flavour progresses. It really is nice. There's a teeny bit of earthiness on the hoppy side of things in the back corners of the palate, but as you come further forward, you can feel the pine raisins that just underpin that, and on top of the pine raisins there's a little bit of a slightly spicy floral aromaticity, and as I'm just talking to you, I can feel the black malts. There's a good bit of dry, bitter character from the black malts at the very back in the middle of my tongue. I can just feel that coming out. But as you go round the front curve of the palate, of course, just following where the hops come out, you can feel these lighter, grassier notes coming out of the beer. The flavours in this one, they just go very well together, and the mouthfeel in this one really is very, very smooth. Really nice beer. Give it a go, honestly. That's nice. The fruity character is interesting as well, because it's a bit, I'm finding it's a little bit less fruity in the flavour than I was expecting from the aroma, but the flavours actually blend together. They I can feel the sort of roasted black malts just creeping up on my palate on that little bit where you get the oily bubble where these fruity esters come out. There's definitely a little bit of that in there, which is quite interesting. I'm not getting the grapefruits so much that I was picking out. You can get a little bit of it, and you can feel that sort of dark, almost kind of sour grapefruity character coming out of the beer. It's not quite tart or anything like that. I just always find grapefruit to be a little bit sour in flavour. You can pick up a little bit of the juicier passion fruit in there as well, but there isn't too much of that. It's mainly grapefruit and I think a kind of orangey character, maybe more of a tangerine, to be honest with you. I think it's more tangerine, pardon me, that's coming out of this beer. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that. It's tangerines in there. There's a little bit of as I say, there's a little bit of passion fruit mixed in there, but it's the grapefruit and the orangey fruits. They're the big oily fruits coming out of this one. As you kind of progress on a little bit, you can pick up, I think, a little bit of mango in there, and some of these lighter sort of tropical fruits are coming out as well. I'm not getting the peaches, to be honest with you, that I was getting in the aroma of this one. I don't think there's too much in the way of a peachy character, maybe just a little bit, but it's not coming out as strongly as I thought it might from the aroma. But there's a wee bit of there's almost just a little bit of lychee character coming out of there as well. I think there is some citra in here. It has these lighter, almost kind of gooseberry sort of lychee flavours that you'd expect of the citra hop. I'm getting a little bit of that from this one. It really is quite nice, this one. I do like the way that these lighter fruits come out. Just pay attention to that little bit behind the front curve of your palate there, and you'll feel these fruity characters. As I say, grapefruit and orange just underpinning it. A little bit of passion fruit. I think there is, to be honest, a little bit of peachy character in there, but not too much. And you can feel those sort of lychee and kind of gooseberry things coming out of this one. But overall, it's a really nice IPA. It's a really nice big black IPA, this one. I'm finding that as I drink more and more of this beer, the sort of roasted black elements are starting to creep and push their way out of this one, which is quite interesting. But for me, the malt base on this one is a little bit less pronounced than I have come across on some black IPAs. Probably my favourite black IPA I've ever tried actually was Black Salts and Body Malts. which was a Toul beer, but that was a big Imperial Black IPA. And this one, it does remind me of that beer actually. It's the same quality of it, but it's just a little bit kind of subdued in a way, I guess you would say. It's not quite as punchy in that regard. This is more of an easy drinking IPA, and of course this is a single black IPA as opposed to the double or Imperial Black IPA, of course. But they've done this beer very, very well, and overall I would say it really does deserve the rating it has on Rate Beer. So if you want to try a black IPA that's more of a hop leaning sort of thing, it's got a nice kind of smooth and juicy, not too bitter hoppy character in it. It just, the point of this black IPA for me is just how well the flavours blend together, and that's what it does really well. That's what earns it the high rating on Rate Beer in my mind. But it's really nice, and it's got a very smooth mouthfeel as well. So just to comment on the mouthfeel a little bit more, I'd describe this beer as being mid-bodied. It's very, very smooth. The carbonation is very soft actually. It's almost got a little bit of a kind of creamy mouthfeel to it. It almost does have just a little bit more of the mouthfeel you'd expect of a stout or something like that. It has got just that little element of creaminess to it. It's got a bit of oily character as well, which suits the fruitiness that the beer has. The hops I think are very, very smooth. There is a little bit of bitterness there, and that kind of builds a good bridge between the black malts. As I say, it starts off a little bit smooth, but the roasted black malts start to push their way out as your palate kind of progresses in this one. But it's got some juicy fruity character. The malts are more roasty than sweet. There's not really any malty sweetness to this beer, I would point out. There's a little bit of bready character which gives it some smoothness, but really it's a roasted bitter malt base to this one. There's some nice bitterness from the hops as well, but mainly it's quite smooth. Overall this beer is just a smooth, kind of easy drinking black IPA, but it's very, very well done, and it fully deserves that 95 rating that it has on Rate Beer actually. I certainly wouldn't hesitate to drink this one again, and I'd actually love to try it on tap actually. It would be really interesting to see what the tap kind of conditioning, the keg conditioning would actually do to the mouthfeel of this one. But overall for me, it's a very, very good beer. If you get the chance to try this one, I think it is available in Denmark and in Sweden. I'm not sure about further afield. Give this beer a go and see what you think of it. Two very, very good breweries from Gothenburg, and I'm sure you won't be disappointed with this one. So yeah, the Sabotage, a black IPA from Beerbliotek and Brewing up in Gothenburg. A very, very solid beer. A little bit lighter in the malt base than you'd normally expect for a black IPA, but there's some really nice hop characters to this one. Very nice, juicy, smooth and easy drinking beer. So yeah, so anyway, as always, thank you for watching my beer reviews. Until the next time, please like, subscribe, share, all the usual YouTube stuff. Do check out my social media. If you have tried this beer before, do let me know your own thoughts on it. Let me know what your favourite Beerbliotek beers are, of course, because I think this is only my second or so review from these guys, second or third. So do make sure you let me know what some of your favourite Beerbliotek beers are. I will try and review more of them, but obviously I can't keep up with all of the beers that these guys release because they are very prolific. You have seen probably some of my other Brewing beers, and I'll review theirs as they come out because they don't produce quite as many beers, of course, but two very, very good breweries that if you're new to Swedish beer, these are two that you definitely want to check out. So yeah, the Sabotage Black IPA from Brewing and Beerbliotek up in Gothenburg here in Sweden. Until the next time, it's Slangic now. Check this guy out if you want a really quite nice black IPA. Cheers.